Hello to all astrology enthusiasts. In this video, we will discuss the transit of the Sun through the sign of Aries, which will occur from March 20th to April 19th, 2025, marking the beginning of a new astrological year. We will talk about how this boy's transit will affect us, its energies, its characteristics, how to use these energies to our advantage, and how to ground them in our lives. We will consider the forecast for the 12 Zodiac signs. Aries, the transit of the Sun is in your sign, in your first house of the horoscope. And this is a time for you to actively express yourself, when energy will be directed towards your personal initiatives, your self-expression, and a new start in life. Situations will arise here that will require courage, decisiveness, and a very quick response from you. This transit will open the beginning of a new stage in your life, and new opportunities will arise for you both in projects and in personal relationships, as well as in physical activities like sports or beauty procedures. And the first house is, of course, associated with our appearance, not just our personality, and there will definitely be increased attention to yourself here. This is also a good time to organize public speeches, present yourself, and make yourself known. There may also be situations where you act impulsively, with emotions taking the forefront, where disputes and conflicts are possible. And to channel this energy, naturally, it's best to do it through physical activity. This could be regular workouts or walks, where you can direct the excess of this Aries energy from the Sun into a productive channel. It's good to engage in running or yoga here. It's good to practice meditation here. It's very beneficial to do planning. That is, break down large tasks and goals into smaller steps to avoid impulsive decisions. It's good to work with emotions so as not to make abrupt decisions and to connect with nature. You can consume grounding foods. That is, these could be foods high in magnesium or nuts, root vegetables. In other words, anything that somewhat calms this energy. Well, I wish you to use it to your advantage. Good luck. Taurus. The Sun is in Aries, in your 12th house of the horoscope, and it will bring to light, so to speak, internal hidden processes that require your awareness. It will bring work with the subconscious, very intense, deep work with the subconscious, and it will highlight what to pay attention to. For you, this is a time of completions, rethinking and freeing yourself from what has lost relevance in your life. And here, these energies, the Sun in Aries, are directed inward, creating a need for you to retreat and reflect. And during this transit, you may encounter situations in life where you truly feel the end of cycles. These are situations related to closing projects, for example, or ending relationships, or completing some old commitments. Moreover, this will happen quite unexpectedly and through an internal process or realization that it is necessary to do so. During this transit through the 12th house, it is very beneficial to work specifically with the shadow aspects of our personality. For instance, if we experience fears that have been hidden until now, or if suppressed emotions surface, or unresolved psychological issues from the past. Alternatively, we might receive some information through dreams. These dreams become very symbolic, in fact. And here many answers can be found. During this transit, we might also feel increased fatigue or apathy. We need to stop ignoring the need for rest, because the Sun can highlight this energy depletion. There can be secret processes happening here. In fact, Simply put, some secrets are revealed. A very strong desire to retreat, to be alone, in silence, perhaps to read some spiritual information, to search for meaningful answers. Additionally, through the 12th house, this energy can be grounded, for example, through creativity or caring for others. When we interact with them, we sort of receive information that provides us with the necessary answers. But this interaction should be more related to care or a kind of service, so to speak. And here, in addition to everything else, meditation, yoga, and creativity, as I mentioned, can help ground you. You can go out into nature, be near water, or consult a specialist, a psychologist, and also work through and discuss these things. It's very good to clear your space, spend more time resting, pay attention to dreams, and practice gratitude for those to whom it is relevant. All of this will help process this energy, and I wish you good luck. Gemini, the transit of the sun in Aries is moving through your 11th house of the horoscope. And here the sun will highlight themes of friendship, collective, projects, some teamwork, social connections, as well as touch upon your ideals, dreams, and desires for the future. In general, the sun in Aries will bring very dynamic situations into your life and will encourage you to interact with a large number of people. That is, it will provide a large number of social connections. You will want to find like-minded people, support for some of your ideas, perhaps find new opportunities, or actively participate socially in some projects, in charity, or these could be volunteer initiatives or large cultural events where there are a lot of people. And here, the sun will create opportunities for you to expand your social circle. That is, new acquaintances will appear, including meeting through dating sites, online spaces, or participating in some communities, clubs, group events. There will be situations where you will need to demonstrate your, let's say, leadership potential specifically within a team, to come forward with some initiative in a group. There will be a very strong focus on your goals here. That is, ideas may arise on how to implement your long-term plans and desires. And also, considering that this is still fiery energy, you will want some quick results. Among other things, the downside of the sun in Aries may present you with situations of conflicts within a group, disputes with friends, with colleagues, and may involve social events, conferences, campaigns, meetings, cultural events, as I mentioned. And also, there will be a lot of interaction with your friends here. Perhaps people will turn to you for advice or emotional support. Oh, and here you might also receive support for your ideas or recognition of your ideas from friends or, for example, large teams. To ground the energy of the sun in your 11th house, specifically the sun in Aries, you need to, first of all, plan clearly, especially by taking your major goals, breaking them down into smaller steps and implementing them sequentially. Here, it's very beneficial to evaluate your overall life priorities, desires, goals, and dreams. Moreover, this energy can be effectively released through sports or active walks, or by participating in collective events, especially where there is a competitive element, for example, in teams. It's very good and important to control emotions because Aries is ruled by Mars. And the sun is a very lively energy. There can be conflict situations here, so we act very consciously. In conflict situations, more time for rest. Even if you have a very active social life during this transit, allocate time for rest to ground yourself, calm your mind, and reflect on your social life as a whole. And I wish you good luck. Cancers, The Sun in Aries will be transiting through your 10th house of the horoscope and will highlight themes of career, your professional self-realization, and situations related to your reputation and social status. The 10th house also governs official marital relationships. Therefore, there may also be new beginnings here. The only thing is to consider the retrograde periods of Venus and Mercury. Make these serious, responsible steps after the retrograde. Overall, this transit will bring very energetic, dynamic situations into your life, encouraging you to take initiative and assume a leadership role. It's a time for very active advancement at work, making responsible decisions, and working on your reputation. Situations will arise where your professional ambitions and career issues will be relevant. You might receive a promotion offer, or you may want to start your own business, or there will be situations, projects, or tasks that will require you to demonstrate leadership qualities. There will be presentations and negotiations. Your achievements might become noticeable to your management. There might also be conflicts with the leadership due to the very intense energy. And the Sun in Aries might challenge you to choose a new professional path. Circumstances will kind of push you towards perhaps changing direction. And new responsibilities may arise here, which will require more organization and, let's say, greater concentration from you. Additionally, the Sun in Aries might present situations where you need to show yourself as a leader or a mentor and demonstrate your competence. And to ground these energies, it is essential to work on setting clear professional goals and develop a step-by-step plan. You need to carefully control your emotions, especially in professional situations. It's better to engage in physical activity, even something as simple as a walk. And if conflicts do arise, try to handle them as diplomatically as possible. Also, try to maintain a balance between work and rest. And take more care of yourself. Maybe it's a massage, or perhaps some relaxing procedures to balance this energy, so there's no imbalance, like an excessive focus only on work. And meanwhile, personal life takes a backseat. Well, I wish you good luck. Leos, the Sun in Aries in your 9th house of the horoscope. And Altai, here, these energies will bring you the desire and drive to expand your horizons and to seek new knowledge. Either you will want to embark on a long journey or pay more attention to education, self-education, and spiritual growth. Overall, the transit will fill you with energy that can be directed specifically towards learning, making new acquaintances with foreigners, forming business partnerships with foreign representatives in the business sphere. These might be situations where you need to engage in some kind of intercultural exchange, participate in an international project. Or situations of a legal, judicial nature will be resolved here. Additionally, during this transit, you might start working on your book, publications, engage in teaching activities, or launch your own blog. In general, the Sun in Aries will highlight situations in these areas of life. And you might, for example, be inspired by ideas to enroll in a higher education institution or take some courses or study abroad. That is to say, it's a great time to acquire new knowledge. Or these could be themes of long-distance travel, and now these trips can be both spontaneous and planned. Just keep in mind retrograde Mercury and retrograde Venus especially retrograde Mercury. However, now despite this, travel will greatly inspire you. It's very beneficial to pay attention to all the information that comes to you during this transit. Moreover, you might discover completely new knowledge for yourself. And in general, to ground these energies, first and foremost, engage in physical activities outdoors, or simply take walks in nature. You can engage in various mindfulness practices because, after all, this is the house of spiritual growth. You can simply read, learn something new, or travel, as I mentioned. You can communicate with friends from abroad or find a mentor, perhaps a coach who will guide you in your spiritual quests, your development, and your worldview. And it's also very important to consider that there might be conflict situations because, after all, Aries is ruled by Mars. So here we behave as diplomatically as possible to avoid such unpleasant situations. And in principle, the 9th house is the house of luck. Therefore, I wish you to use the energies of the sun in Aries to your advantage. And see you. Virgos. The sun in Aries is in your 8th house of the horoscope and focuses your attention primarily on personal changes, personal crises that are happening to you right now, and deep changes within yourself. In addition, the sun here will highlight situations related to your finances, resources, especially if these are joint finances, a joint budget, or if these are some debt obligations, credit obligations, or inheritance issues. Situations related to your intimate life will come to the forefront here. Also, the 8th house is responsible for esotericism. Perhaps during this transit, you will want to delve into this sphere, or some very interesting information will open up for you in this regard. Overall, the sun here allows you to conduct a serious cleansing, especially concerning yourself and your personal beliefs. And naturally, the transit will create situations for resolving some financial issues. It might be necessary to make some truly significant financial decisions here, or to clarify situations related to money and your partners. There may also be situations related to your investments. Moreover, if we are talking about personal relationships, then partnerships may go through a turning point that will require honesty, trust, or let's say joint efforts from you to overcome misunderstandings in the relationship. Here there will be a revelation of everything hidden, in fact. The sun will highlight exactly what to pay attention to. In the 8th house, you can consult a specialist, work with a psychologist, undergo psychotherapy, or engage in powerful spiritual cleansing practices to overcome certain fears, obstacles, or negative emotions. Because I remind you, the theme here is personal crises, the theme of personal transformations. And in order to ground these energies, you need to pay attention to these areas of life, engage in self-analysis, and understand your deep feelings. You can engage in meditation, work with a psychologist, as I mentioned. It's good to use some relaxation techniques, basic yoga or a walk. Get rid of everything unnecessary, declutter, conduct a serious cleaning, and get rid of fears, emotions, grievances. As for money, financial planning, I definitely recommend it. And if we are talking about personal relationships, then of course, honesty is needed here. You need to have a trusting conversation and thus get rid of all misunderstandings. Well, I wish you good luck. Libra, the sun in Aries is in your 7th house of the horoscope and directs your attention to partnerships, cooperation, and your social activity. The transit will create situations for you that will reveal you, encourage you to assert yourself in relationships, take on new responsibilities for partnership commitments, and make important decisions specifically in the realm of personal and professional connections. In general, the Sun in Aries here will create situations and conflicts for you, including the expression of your individuality. All of this will specifically concern relationships. There may be situations where you need to assert your interests and defend your position. And this can, of course, lead to some confrontations. A time when it's important to assert yourself in relationships, but not to forget about compromise. There may be new acquaintances, new partnerships, including new personal relationships, or these could be new business alliances. The only thing to consider is that we have two retrograde planets at play, namely Venus and Mercury. Therefore, in these areas of life, specifically in relationships, it's worth starting something after the retrograde period. Here you can gain recognition, for example, in some projects, or resolve some legal issues, or make some significant decisions, specifically regarding partnerships. That is, either conclude some personal relationships or complete a project. Well, and here it's very important to find a balance between I and we, because there will be situations where you will be confronted with the choice of what to prioritize, your own interests or those of your partner. And of course, here you need to consider the needs of other people, but at the same time, clearly define what is important to you. To ground the energy of the Sun in Aries, engage in honest conversations. Undoubtedly, the 7th house affects all relationships in our lives, so it's important here to openly and honestly discuss both your own needs and those of the other party, to uncover, so to speak, any grievances or unspoken issues, and there may be emotional outbursts here, because after all, Aries is ruled by Mars. The Sun here will highlight what needs attention. It's good to establish them, new acquaintances, and new social connections. It's also beneficial to release this energy through physical activity. That is, instead of closing off, it's better to open up more, express yourself more, and make yourself known. Well, I wish you good luck. Scorpios. The Sun in Aries in your 6th house of the horoscope primarily activates health-related issues for you. The Sun here will highlight what we need to pay attention to. Topics of work and daily responsibilities, your daily routine, your self-organization. There will be situations related to your pets. It's a great time to start some kind of sports activity or physical exercise here. Overall, this transit will encourage you to take decisive actions in improving your living conditions, psychological state, health, and reducing stress. A very active approach will be needed here to solve everyday issues. There might be a new responsibility at work, or you may need to prove yourself in the workplace, take on more responsibility, and demonstrate your leadership qualities. Here it's better to focus on improving your health and physical condition. Perhaps start engaging in some activities or pay attention to your daily routine, sleep schedule, and diet. Overall, it's a great time to launch new projects and tasks in the context of work. The only thing is to consider retrograde Venus and retrograde Mercury. It's better to do this after April 15th. There may be conflict situations within the team, with colleagues, or with management. Here it's necessary to adapt very quickly to new changes that will occur, especially in the context of your work and daily life. To ground these energies, it's undoubtedly very beneficial to engage in physical activity. In the 6th house, it's definitely necessary to work on your daily schedule, daily routine, and plan your routine tasks. It's very good and important to pay attention to your health, and it's beneficial to engage in practices that reduce stress in your life and increase stress resilience. Is time management undoubtedly relevant for you? It's definitely good to cleanse your space, clear your thoughts, and approach the challenges you face in everyday life with a very positive attitude. Well, I wish you to use the energy positively and good luck. Sagittarius, the Sun in Aries is in your 5th house of the horoscope, and here it will very powerfully activate your creative potential. Situations of pleasure and joy. Romantic relationships will come to the forefront. Themes of self-expression and interaction with your children. Overall, the transit will bring energies here that will push you to actively express your desires, seek new adventures, new creative opportunities, and provide new romantic encounters. There will be situation where you will have the opportunity to unleash your creative potential. You will feel inspired to start new projects. This could be art, music, any creative endeavors. Here you'll want to show originality. Here you'll want to be bright and visible. If we are talking about romantic relationships, then the desire to express yourself in relationships will increase here. These could be situations of new acquaintances and expressions in already existing relationships. You will strive more for freedom, for some romantic adventures. Here, passionate, impulsive connections are possible. Here, during this transit, there may arise a need to live your life more easily, to have more fun, to enjoy life more, to rejoice, to actively engage in hobbies and interests. You'll want to take risks, to participate in some gambling activities. And this can relate to both personal life and business. Keep in mind that the 5th house also governs entrepreneurship. Here, you will be in search of any opportunities for self-expression. There will be situations where you need to pay more attention to your children. You'll want to bring more creativity into your life. And to ground this energy, make sure to engage in creative activities. Ground your emotions and express them through any creative activities, whether it's art, dance, putum, or any form of creativity. Actively participate in events, actively meet new people, and spend time with children, undoubtedly. If we are talking about romantic relationships, you can immerse yourself in these situations with increased, let's say, passion. Keep in mind that Aries is a fiery energy governed by Mars. Therefore, you shouldn't lose your head, but certainly enjoy the moments. Well, and I wish you good luck. Capricorns. The Sun in Aries is moving through your 4th house of the horoscope, and here the Sun brings very dynamic energies to the themes and issues related to your home, your place of residence, your space where you live, and how you feel there. These are themes of moving, buying, and selling real estate, changing your place of residence, and also personal marital relationships or relationships with your parents or close relatives come to the forefront. In general, family history will be relevant for you. During this transit of the Sun, it will highlight what you should pay attention to. The transit of the Sun in Aries will create situations for you related to changes in your home and family affairs. This could be a desire to start renovations, to somehow transform the space in which you live. It could be a move or home projects related to creating a generally homely family atmosphere. There may certainly be family conflicts here. And because after all, Aries is ruled by Mars, and there will be situations where you will need to assert yourself specifically in resolving family issues, either by demonstrating organizational skills, or your decisiveness, making certain decisions. There will be situations where you will need to return to certain family matters or delve into, so to speak, the exploration of family history. Here, there will be situations related to your emotional security and psychological state where you reside. And in order to ground these energies, you definitely need to pay attention to all the aspects related to home, relationships, parents, or your marital partner, or personal relationships. Everything related to home, real estate, perhaps renting property, or maybe you want to change your place of residence now. All these issues need attention. Additionally, it's good to conduct a spiritual cleansing to get rid of old grievances and fears, especially in the context of relationships with close relatives. It's good to spend time with parents, have some family celebrations, or start some home projects. All of this will be relevant during this transit. I wish you good luck. Aquarius, the sun in Aries, is in your third house of the horoscope. And here, the sun will activate a large amount of communication for you, a lot of interactions, new acquaintances, and movements. There will be a lot of information, a lot of such intellectual processes. There will be a lot of interaction with brothers, sisters, or neighbors. And in general, the third house is precisely such an information-rich one. And it gives us intense communication. It gives us the desire to express our thoughts, some of our ideas, to expand our social circle, to meet new people, and to solve some intellectual tasks in our daily life. And there will be opportunities for short trips to gain new experiences or, again, new acquaintances. Here there will be a desire to immerse oneself in some knowledge, in some educational processes, to improve one's qualifications, to study something, to discover something new for oneself, to communicate a lot, to debate a lot, even to argue. There may be some conflict situations because the sun is in Aries. After all, Aries is ruled by Mars. Here you can actually think about how to change your overall style of communication, the style of interaction with the people around you. In order to ground this energy, it is essential to pay attention to the information that comes to you, organizing your thoughts, bringing order to your, let's say, your thinking. You can use writing practices, set new goals, engage in physical activity, do mindfulness practices, and certainly communicate with loved ones, brothers and sisters, or go on a journey. And you can express and ground this sun in Aries energy through writing, conversation, or reading books, studying some information. All of this can be used to your advantage by working through the sun in Aries energy, and I wish you good luck. Pisces, the sun in Aries transiting through your second house of the horoscope, and here it will raise topics for you related to finances, your personal values and self-esteem, your talents and resources. And the transit will stimulate you to take decisive actions, specifically in the area of material matters, making you think about your values, your attitude towards money, and your personal worth. Then, during this transit, there will be situations where you will need to work on your financial ambitions. You might feel the desire to increase your income, open new sources of earnings, improve your financial situation. This is a time when you will be looking for ways to earn more actively or invest, yes, in some financial projects. You will feel a need for sheep recognition. That is, you will want to emphasize what you are doing and also receive financial, yes, confirmation. Here, it is necessary to reassess your entire value system more according to the second house of the horoscope. I remind you that retrograde Mercury and retrograde Venus are involved here. And precisely these retrogrades will help you look at all these aspects in a completely different way, to review, rethink, reassess, and perhaps get rid of some limiting beliefs. Situations will arise here where you need to demonstrate leadership qualities, specifically in financial matters, or somehow use your resources to earn more. There will definitely be changes in income sources. Here, by the way, you can practice your confidence in yourself and your abilities, because after all, the sun in Aries provides the energy of beginnings, supporting such energy. And it will also highlight what you need to pay attention to. Well, this is a period when you will want more pleasures, which are precisely related to money. These are purchases, some investments, some kind of comfort. To ground these energies, you definitely need to direct your focus on financial planning and look at your financial situation. Perhaps plan your income and expenses. Maybe find new sources of income again. Here, you need to work on developing your skills, knowledge, and improving your professional skills. And this will also provide some financial value in the future. You need to work on your desires, needs, values, moral, and self-esteem. All of this deserves attention during this transit, and you should start something, but do it after the retrograde period. And of course, it's better to engage in what brings you more satisfaction, because precisely this energy, the energy of joy, is what provides support, so to speak, for your financial situation, for improving, yes, your well-being. In any case, use the energy positively, and I wish you good luck. Subscribe, like, share this video. See you. Bye-bye.